This section heading is called Disaster Recovery. So now within your Hadoop version 1 architecture, your name node is a single point of failure, and features such as high availability are not available. Now this is a significant problem because your name node is also your manager of HDFS, and it uses these metadata files in order to retrieve the data that's stored on your slave nodes. Now should your primary name node fail, or we actually lose those files, and we don't have some sort of backup in place, then the data would be lost forever. Now because of this, we're actually storing essentially a copy of those files on a remote secondary name node. So now in this section, what we're going to demonstrate is how, if this primary name node actually fails, how we can actually transfer these files to a new name node in order to recover the data. So now the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to essentially update our image with the current namespace. So we're going to type Hadoop, and we're going to run that script. So that's Hadoop daemon.sh, and then we want to stop the secondary name node. And then we will essentially save our more current namespace into the image. So we're going to type Hadoop, and then it's going to be secondary name node, and then I'll do a Control E here, and we're going to do a checkpoint force. So now let me go up to this image up here for a moment. So this is what we're essentially going to simulate right now. So we have our primary name node, and in our instance right here, we're just going to delete the files on the primary name node, and then we're going to transfer them from the secondary name node back in there and just verify that we can access the data on the slave nodes. So if you look at the documentation, it will tell you that if you don't have a primary name node in place, that you should replicate the settings of that device and then do that transfer. So now we're going to go over to the name node and we're going to delete those files. So we're going to type rm, and then that's rf, and we have to provide the path here. So Hadoop support, DFS, and then name, and then everything that stems from there, we're just going to delete it. Once again, that's where all of our checkpoint files are. So now we're going to stop all of the daemons. So stop-all.sh. So now we're going to go over to the secondary name node and we're going to demonstrate that transfer. So first we're actually going to set our working directory essentially closer so we don't have to have this long path that we're executing for a command. So we're going to change directory to temp, and then it's going to be Hadoop support, and then DFS, and then name secondary. So we're going to set our working directory to there. And then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to transfer those files. So we're going to use rsync to do this. So we're going to type rsync and then -rv. So we want it recursive, we want it to be verbose so we can actually see the files being transferred in the terminal, and then we're going to transfer all the files that stem from that directory, and that is where your checkpoint files are on the secondary name node. So now once again we're going to have to specify here where they're going. So they're going to support at master, and then we have to provide the path to where we want to essentially store them to or copy them to. So we have temp, and then it's Hadoop -support, and then inside of DFS there's going to be the name directory, and then we want to throw them inside of there. Okay, so we can see that we got success. Now we always want to go over to the name node and verify that the files did in fact get transferred. So we're going to use that tree command to see the files under there. So we're going to type tree with 2 E's, and it's going to be temp, Hadoop support, DFS, name, and if we look from there, you're actually going to see those files. Alright, so now let's demonstrate that we can actually access the data that's inside of HDFS. So let's fire up all the daemons. And now we'll execute the following command. So we're going to use the fsck utility. We want to see all the files from root, and then we want to see the files, the blocks, and their locations. And here we can see that we can access the data. So if you scroll up on here, you're going to see those blocks. So you can see once again, the files, then you can see the blocks, and then you can also see their locations.